Hello, good afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and get started. It's time for us to start our session. Yatesh is got really initiate. Hashka Johanishla Tatnasani Bashashin, Islana Dashache, but Atni Dashanella. My name is Scott Willie. I am the PLSI project manager. I'm with the American Indian Law Center, and I help run the Pre-Law Summer Institute there. And we're based out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, at the University of New Mexico. Although we're housed at the University of New Mexico, we're not affiliated with the University of New Mexico. We are a standalone organization. And today I'm giving a presentation about really our Pre-Law Summer Institute and pathways to law school for undergraduate students. So I hope you're in the right session today to learn a little bit more about helping students who are interested in applying to law school, but also for resources that are available for them when they get into law school. A little background about myself. I am Navajo. I am Danette from Fruitland, New Mexico. I got my undergraduate degree from the University of New Mexico in anthropology and psychology. Immediately after, I left to the University of Utah, where I worked for about 8 years in biomedical and health science research, helping with their MD PhD program and also their medical student research program. And a lot of my expertise is helping Native students finding career paths. In that particular area, I was helping students get into medical school, but also career paths as health alliance professionals. And the creator now brought me to law. So as of last year, I started working with the American Indian Law Center, helping with their Pre-Law Summer Institute program. And I'll go through that program a little bit more. But I just want to, I'm not sure if you guys all met yet. I doubt it. I think this would be a great opportunity just to like get your name, what your title is, and maybe what you hope to get out of this session. We'll start here and then we'll work our way down.
Hi, I'm Felipe Pequot. I'm Cliff. And I live from New York. Law school. Now I'm a practitioner in Connecticut. And also working on my LLM, energy and environmental law, and working taking a course in federal Indian law, which I'm fascinated taught by Larry Roberts, the general son. So that's the one.
Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Cliff Sebastian. I'm a Pequot Tribal Nation member on our Economic Development Committee, and I'm just a little personally interested in law, considering law school myself. Okay. So this was a little interesting.
Yeah, great. Thank you for being here.
Hi, I'm Laura Vitaro. Attorney. I received law in Boulder a while back. And I studied federal Indian law there. I didn't end up practicing in that area, but I met a lot of the folks who were involved in the funds, really inspired by that. I practiced for a lot of years, and now I'm a mediator and arbitrator, and I have case orders in law school. I didn't realize that this was directed towards potential students, but it's still something fascinating.
Yes.
And yeah, that's here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. And again, if you are many attorneys here and folks who are interested in applying to law school, I think this is going to be very applicable for your interest. And I think really we're just trying to help support Native students that are going into law school. And I apologize ahead of time. I do speak softly. So if you can't hear me in the back row, definitely come up to the front. If not, I hope that you can hear me well as I speak. But also, if I speak too fast, let me know. If I'm talking too low, just ask me to speak up. I'm competing with the music next door. So the American Indian Law Center, we are the oldest existing American Indian Center in the Southwest. We're Indian managed and Indian operated legal and policy organization. We began in 1968, which has been a very long time. It's a historic program. We're funded by the Bureau of Indian Education through the Department of Interior. We provide training and technical assistance to tribes and tribal courts. We operate the Southwest Intertribal Court of Appeals in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where we do work with the pueblos there in New Mexico. And now our flagship program is the Pre-Law Summer Institute. And the programs that we do support are financial assistance to our law students. So we understand the burden of going to law school as an Indigenous student. So we try to help where the barriers exist for our law students. So what is Indian law? A lot of practitioners have already been to law school already or have an interest in applying to law school. Indian law is in itself a complex web of different aspects of the U.S. Constitution, federal statutes and regulations, mostly common law, international law. You did hear some conversations in the preliminary session with our folks from Hawaii, and then tribal law. A lot of intersections with federal Indian law, and it continues to be complex as well. And really, policies and laws have been applied to Indigenous peoples since the colonial period, all the way up to the self-determination. And depending on when the act has occurred is really when, in that period of law, that's where the law applies to that period and not any further back or further forward. And really the need for Native attorneys is we just need more Native American and Alaska Natives because really we have a lot of relationships with the U.S. federal government. And so we have like this entire U.S. code that applies to Indians, Federal Code 25. If you have a chance to definitely look at it, Google search it, and you'll see a lot of the U.S. codes that apply to Indigenous communities. American Indians are included in the U.S. Constitution, even though we didn't participate in drafting it, which is very interesting, nor did we sign into it. The U.S. Constitution is a source of power for the federal legislators regarding tribes. And again, we have wonderful tribal leaders here. Thank you for your work and your impact with your community. But I am under the impression that a lot of tribal leaders want Native and Indigenous attorneys to represent them and also their claims when they go to court. So we understand that that is a need. It's an urgent need. This is why we want to continue to support Native law students because there's a lot of opportunities for them to give back to their Native communities. Not only do we want to develop attorneys through PLSI, but we also want to help encourage students to explore a career path as becoming a judge. So we have judicial clerkship programs, attorney coaching programs that are available for our law students as well. So we also need professors in academia as well, not just judges and attorneys, but we do need professors who can teach federal Indian law, but also any other discipline in law, because representation matters, and it's important to have folks who come from our backgrounds to speak on behalf of Indigenous peoples, particularly for federal Indian law. 1968, wonderful photo. Is there anything that stands out to you guys on this photo? It's a very long time ago for sure. There's one more, yes. It's incredible, but it's changed now. Our program, PLSI, about 50% of our participants are female. And so we definitely had a lot of growth and development where women are occupying spaces that they should be in. So we're so proud of the amount of applicants that come in are typically female. So really the pre-law program, like I said, it is our flagship of our organization where we do provide advisement training. We're hoping that next year we're going to have our pre-law advisors training again. We didn't have it last year, but we're hoping to have it next year, early in the year, around February as well. So Basically, it's like a 2-day workshop where we invite pre-law advisors to come and learn, but also attorneys. Oftentimes, attorneys are, acting as pre-law advisors to students that sometimes people kind of just push them to because they're an attorney from a family friend. They may say, "Hey, you've been to law school. Can you talk to my child about your career path to becoming an attorney?" So we do offer the pre-law advisors training to all members as well, not just pre-law advisors. We also partner with the Pathway to Law initiative. That is an initiative from Arizona State University. It's a 5-day workshop where we do really ask students to apply to this program. It gives them an opportunity to work on their personal statement, their resume, and also they provide an LSAT study prep material, which is valued up to $1,500. It's a very important partnership that we do have. Last year, I believe that they were this year. I'm getting them confused. There's also the CILA, which is the California Indian Law Association. CILA has their own Pathway to Law initiative. The Pathway to Law initiative with ASU this year is going to be at the University of Wisconsin in Madison. So it's a wonderful opportunity for students. We help support with their travel stipends. So we give travel scholarships to students to participate in the Pathway to Law initiative. So if you haven't heard of it or you'd like to share information to your members or students, definitely Google search Pathway to Law initiative ASU, and you'll find that program as well. Now, PLSI, it's a summer program. We support supports in law school, so we offer incentives to participants who have applied to PLSI. We offer them book allowances 3 times, once a year for the 3 years that they are in law school. We offer professional development opportunities for our students, and we also provide judicial clerkships. And sort of like the cherry on top of our sundae is our bar exam support, because we know that it's expensive to pay for bar examination fees, particularly for study prep materials. So we do provide a reimbursement for students, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later in the presentation. So PLSI is the program for our students that are just before that they're going to start law school. So it's the summer before they're going to start law school. And this is a really good time for them to do PLSI because they gain a lot of skills to become a really good law student. If a student decides to defer a year, we try to tell them apply again next summer, because this program is really intended for you before you go to law school, because it's going to give you the skills that you need to be successful. They also have really amazing cohort development. We can sponsor up to 36 participants every summer. Unfortunately, we don't meet that need yet, but we're hoping that in the future that we're able to get more students to apply to law school, but also apply to PLSI. There's a lot of Native students that do apply to law school, but they don't come to PLSI just for various reasons, whether the course is just too rigorous and maybe some personal reasons. Maybe they just want to relax before they start law school, because law school is very intense. So we understand that maybe they didn't want to come to PLSI, or maybe they didn't hear about PLSI, which is why we're out here to let folks know that PLSI exists, and we hope that they do apply to our program. So we get about 36 students. Last year the last 2 years, last summer, we had 18, and the summer before that, we had about 18 as well. As a new staff of the organization, my goal was to have at least 25 students. We have 24 that have been admitted. We still have a handful of applications, so I'm super excited about that. Excuse me, I don't think I'll hit 36, but I'm aiming for next year to have 36 students to participate in our program. And we also provide professional development for our program as well, for students who participate in PLSI, because of the way that we've broken down the curriculum. Every week for the 8 weeks, they have workshops, and also guest speakers. So there are opportunities for them to really focus on their professional development. And PLSI is an 8-week program where they'll get to have legal coursework, 4 courses that are applied to the program for the 8 weeks. I'll go a little bit more into this in depth as well. We provide them a midterm final examination, and this is also really important to why PLSI is so crucial for students who want to go into law school. And they also leave with 2 legal papers, and they learn how to do outlines and casing breaks as well. My slide is I'll cut a little bit short, but at the bottom just says that they're going to have an unforgettable summer because it's a really great experience for them. So the classes that I was talking to you about, so our requirement is our Indian law class. In the past, law school in the past, students typically wouldn't get a federal Indian law course, and so usually they would come to PLSI to get their pre-law, or excuse me, their federal Indian law courses through us. But now it's changing. Law schools are adding Indian law into their curricula as an elective, but oftentimes it's adjunct faculty who come and do Indian law, and oftentimes it's not a native person who's teaching federal Indian law. So again, the reason why we're so important about having PLSI is trying to encourage students to go into academia as well. And the classes that we do teach that are kind of rotating throughout the year is contract law, torts law, property law, civil procedure, criminal law, and constitutional law. So all of these kind of just rotate throughout the year. And this summer we're going to have civil procedure and property law along with federal or Indian law. In addition to our course in the curricula is our legal writing. So our students have 2 advocacy courses. So technically they have 5 classes for the year. And so this is where they get to learn how to write legal memos, create a brief, and also have an oral argument at the end of the term. So in the last week of the program, our students actually go into a moot court and they have an argument with their peers in front of an actual judge. Wonderful opportunity because this is not a skill that often students have before going into law school, and they get to have that while they're participating in PLSI. So our faculty and our teaching assistants, so going back to my previous slide about the exams, why they're so important, is because we have actual ABA accredited law school professors who teach with us. And we're really excited this summer. We're going to have an outstanding team of Native scholars who are just at the forefront of their institutions. So we're really excited that this summer we're going to have an all-Native professor cohort. And then also teaching assistants. In previous years, we invite students to apply for our teaching assistant positions, and it is paid for. So they get a really good stipend for the 10 weeks that they serve as a teaching assistant. And our teaching assistants are from the previous year, but it also helps our teaching assistants to gain a better understanding of some topics that they may have missed in their year 1, or they want to refresh some core topics that they've had in their first year of law school. The reason why that's beneficial is because they're going to see that material on the bar exam. After the completion of their 3rd year, they have to take the bar. And so our courses kind of act as a refresher for our TAs. So it's a multi-benefit position for our TAs. It also acts as a near-peer mentorship as well for our students because they're incoming students, first-year law students. They get to sort of bounce their experiences off of each other, and really our TAs help prepare our incoming cohort about what to expect. So when students leave PLSI, the skills that they develop are heavily needed as a law student. So they help with their development in their reading cases, casing briefs, identifying key issues, legal analysis, outlining time management, and test-taking skills. These are all crucial and essential for to be a successful law student. And so our students really leave the program with these skill sets in hand. Because oftentimes in the past, we kind of just left the students to their own devices after they developed these skills, but then we developed more opportunities for students when it came to the financial assistance to our program. So Law School Connections, we offer outreach to law schools who can potentially recruit students from our program. Sometimes we have like different tiers of students. We have like the upper class who are the go-getters who want to do everything to kind of like add to their resume, right? Like they just are the go-getters, and then you have, and they're going to law school guaranteed for sure. They're getting into a law school. They have a great GPA, great LSAT. So those are the top students, and then we kind of have the middle students who are kind of maybe been admitted to a school, but they haven't really, maybe it's the third pick, and they haven't really selected their top choice yet. Sometimes we do have schools that come into PLSI to recruit our students as well. So they have one-on-one appointments with law schools where they can just learn a little bit more about their institution and the types of programs that they do focus on, or if they have certificate programs. It's a great way for our students to really land in a really great school for the summer, or for law school in itself. So we do provide this opportunity for students as well. So again, going back to the professors, the testing, and our evaluations, we provide end of the summer evaluations for our students. And our students don't see the evaluations. That's just our standard. However, we do share the evaluations with admissions. So schools that maybe a student is under a conditional admissions from an institution, and maybe the institution we partner with. The institution can say, you're admitted to our school under these conditions, that you complete PLSI, and here are the conditions. So we provide these evaluations to those schools, and maybe the student is already having a conversation with another law school's admission staff, and so they would just say, offices. It's a tough summer, so we don't ask the students. There's workshops, we have Friday speakers, so it's just a heavy. We tell our students, like, if you're coming to it's just not going to be conducive to our course curriculum. Some opportunities. So we provide them a living allowance for the summer. Unfortunately, it's not enough to cover the expenses for our students, but it's enough to get them through the 2 months that they're in Albuquerque. We do provide dorms that are available for our students for the summer. We put them in apartment-style units at the university. And we also provide them meal cards. We provide them breakfast and dinner for the entire program. So we also provide to participate in PLSI. Books, they get a lot of books for the summer, and that costs a lot depending on what the instructor asks us to purchase for them. Usually about $500, for our textbooks for the summer for students. But they actually get to keep the textbooks as they leave PLSI. We offer reimbursements for laptops. That's always a really good thing, a good perk for our students. They may want to purchase a laptop before coming to PLSI. We just ask them that they submit their receipts, and they can get any type of laptop that they want. Our cap is $1,000, so if their purchase was, I don't know, if they got like a MacBook and it was over 2,000, we would only reimburse them for the 1,000. But also that's a commitment to professional career as an attorney. We also have our judicial, like I had mentioned, there's different career paths to becoming an attorney, but we also would love to get more folks into judicial clerkship positions as they complete their law school, because it's just sort of what my mentor says, it's the plum on the resume. It's something that's really going to sell for them. It's like kind of a lucrative position if they completed a judicial clerkship. Oftentimes, firms really look at that as a skill set that they can kind of maybe pay them a little bit more, these attorneys. So it's a great opportunity, but the goal is really to get them to become judges. Through our judicial clerkship program, we've developed the Judicial Clerkship Committee. A lot of those folks are alumni through PLSI, but also who serve as clerks. We provide workshops and mentoring. We also partner with other tribal organizations to help develop and guide their clerkship guides as well. So in the past few years, the American Indian Law Center sees the need to support Native students, and so we've developed the Native American Bar Passage Initiative, which essentially helps students in their third year to sort of support them financially. And so we understand that the cost of bar supplement materials is quite expensive. So study prep materials from like Barbary, Thalamus, those are quite expensive materials. So we do provide reimbursement for students who submit their receipts to us, and we can provide them support on reimbursing them 85% of the cost for that total cost. And once they're completed their bar exam, we ask them to submit their bar scores. And then we release the other portion of the amount that they're due. And it's just a great opportunity. And this is open for non-PLSI students as well. So any Native law student can apply for these resources. It's not just for our PLSI alumni. We also provide attorney coaching for our students who are planning on taking the bar. If they just need an extra hand, an extra motivator, somebody who can push them along to saying, hey, you got this, you're going to do really good.